Hello, thank you for checking out the video. I know it's been ages since I've actually checked in, and there is a reason for that. So I just want to quickly go into that before I head into the video. Just wanted to give you guys a really quick update. So as you know, my channel is about health, wellness, fitness and lifestyle, and I'll be completely honest, I definitely suffer from perfection paralysis. It's just one of those things, and I've been finding it really difficult to figure out how to combine, and make it all sort of like relative, because I feel like a lot of my fitness stuff is just quite far removed from like the fashion and the beauty and stuff like that. So just like in the interest of what's going to be appealing to my viewers, I just thought it was just a little bit too far of a stretch, and it was just making my channel a little bit too all over the place. So I just want to make sure that my content is consistent and I'm kind of like delivering exactly what the viewers want to see, as well as staying true to my own beliefs as well. So I've actually set up another channel. The link is in the description below if you'd like to check that out. I'll be very, very grateful. And that channel is just going to be all about fitness and wellness. Two minds for a little while about setting up an extra channel, especially since this channel is still quite small. But I really just do feel that doing it like this is just going to allow me to be more consistent with my content on this channel, as well as being consistent with the content on the other channel as well. So I just think it's the best way to go about it, because I simply couldn't choose between beauty and fitness. I couldn't choose. So today I'm just going to quickly go into some of the products that I've picked up, because now that the summer has started, finally, the skincare routine does need to be updated. All from Superdrug. So first up, I've got a salicylic acid cleanser with ceramides. Now, those are two ingredients that I really love in skincare products anyway. So salicylic acid is excellent for oily skin, and my skin can definitely get oilier in the summer. So if you do suffer with oily skin or blackheads, or you just feel like your skin needs a deeper clean in the summer, then this is a fantastic shout, because it's got the salicylic acid in it and it's also got ceramides. Now, I've done a video before about sensitive skin and how you protect the skin barrier, but essentially salicylic acid is not something that protects the skin barrier, but the ceramides replenish that skin barrier. So you're going to be getting a really nice deep clean and exfoliation with the salicylic acid without any manual exfoliation, which we don't necessarily want at this time of the year. I'll go into that a little bit more in a second. But the exfoliating benefits of the salicylic acid, and then you've got those ceramides in there just as a bit of a insurance policy. So I absolutely love that. The only thing that I would say, two things: it doesn't foam up that much. So if you are, I know that sometimes if you've got oily skin, people do like to feel that sort of like real lather on the skin. It's not SLS free, so it has got sulfate in it. I assume so, because it does foam. Yeah, it has got sulfates in it. But even still, it just doesn't foam up all that much. So I tend to do a double cleanse with this one. I find it really good in the evening, just when you sort of like getting home. You got that sort of like more of like an oilier film on the skin, which draws more dirt and grime to your skin anyway. So I like to do a double cleanse with it when I get home. And also I find it excellent after the gym as well, because for exactly the same reasons. And when you're in the gym, obviously you're sweating a lot, and you get a nice film of sweat sitting on your face, and that's going to have bacteria sitting on your face. So as soon as I get home from the gym, I go in and I give it a good cleanse with a salicylic acid cleanser. The other thing I will say, it really stings your eyes. I know that it's not an eye wash, but my goodness, this really stings your eyes. So just be careful are you using it around your eye area. Now, if somebody says to me, what two products are going to revolutionize my skin, if I can only get two products, what would you choose? What would you spend the extra money on? I would never say a cleanser, only because I just feel that cleansers don't stay on your skin long enough to have any real benefit. So what I do with this one is that I do my first cleanse, then I do my second cleanse, and I leave it on while I'm like brushing my teeth. So it just gets to sit on the skin and lets that salicylic acid get to work, let it burrow down into the pores. And I find that works really well. So when I remove it with the hot cloth afterwards, and when I do remove it, I give like a buffing action as well. So yeah, it does definitely seem to make a difference when I do it like that. So that's what I would use first. Following that, I would go in with some sort of vitamin C product. Obviously, we're getting a lot more sun exposure now, and vitamin C is a really good, again, like an insurance factor for sun damage. So as I've mentioned in previous videos, the sun does actually cause oxidative stress to the skin. So what that basically means is that when the sun hits the skin, the chemical processes that take place are oxidative. So it means that the cells oxidize. And we're always antioxidants. We're always trying to move away from that oxidation because that's essentially what ages the skin. So not only does it age the skin, it also causes inflammation and discoloration. So we always want to go in with some sort of antioxidant. At the moment, I've only got these vitamin C pads from Lip and Fab, which I've done a whole review on previously, so I won't go into too much detail. Also, this isn't like my optimal vitamin C products. I don't want to go into it too much, but I have run out of my ordinary vitamin C serum, which is the holy grail. So as soon as I get that back in, then I will drop that one out. But I like to have some sort of vitamin C on my skin, as I say, just for that extra protection. Next up, I've got this SPF 30 booster, and oh my, I love these products. Similar to like The Ordinary, I don't really know many other companies that do it exactly like this. Really do feel like The Ordinary did open the door for the market to kind of bring out these sorts of very specific single use, like single benefit ingredients, so that it just allows the consumer to sort of like pick and choose exactly what they need for their skin, without having to apply like loads and loads of different like layers of like heavier creams. So I absolutely love this range called Me Plus at Superdrug. It's super affordable, and they often have it on buy one get one half price, which is what I got when I got these two. So that's good. And just before I go on, there's actually a gift set in store at the moment. It's $9.99, and it's got 4 small Me Plus bottles. So if you've never used the range, I've been using this range for well over a year now. So I'm got plenty of faith in it. But if you are sort of dipping your toe and you don't know whether it's going to be good enough for you, try their taster kit. It's got 4 in there. It's got niacinamide. I think it's got peptide booster. And it's got the SPF booster, and I can't remember what else it's got in it. I think hyaluronic acid, that seems to be like a popular one. So yeah, anyway, so this is an SPF 30 booster. So this is again going to give me an extra layer of sun protection. And the reason why I'm so obsessed with sun protection is because I've spent a lot of time trying to heal the pigmentation in my skin. And so essentially throughout the winter months, when there isn't so much sun around, I'm doing my peels, I'm doing all my sorts of like pigmentation lightening treatments. When the sun comes out again, I don't want to just go in and kind of completely reverse all that hard work that I've done. And not only that, because of the amount of processing that I've done to my skin throughout the winter months, it will be more susceptible to damage. So it's, if you are sort of like used to doing your peels and things like that, it is essential that you have a really solid skincare routine in the summer as well. So with the SPF boost, I just apply a couple of drops to my skin after my toner, which is the Neutrogena Clear and Soothe Turmeric Mist. I absolutely love this, and because it's got the turmeric in there, it cools the skin and it just soothes the skin as well. So if I'm not using the vitamin C pads, I will use the turmeric spray just to give like a toning effect to the skin. And then once I put my toner on, whichever it be, then I'll go in my SPF 30 booster. Just a couple of drops all over the face. What I will say about this one is if you've seen or if you've used the Ordinary Vitamin C plus arbutin serum, it's a really similar consistency. It's funny because that's one of my favourite products to use in the summer, and it does tend to have like a slightly oilier finish. So this is exactly the same. So I'll just quickly show you. Okay. So it has got like a slightly oilier finish to it. So you don't need to use a lot. It does say just put enough on to cover your face. So I will admit, the first time I used it, I was like, okay, that must be quite a bit then. And I put on probably like, I probably put on like half a pipette. My skin was so shiny. So I wouldn't do that. I would go in with just like 2 to 3 drops and just rub it all over the skin. And of course, in the summer, we need a little bit of mattifying. So I've got this again. I actually got this last year as well, but back then it came in a glass bottle and it smashed on my bathroom floor. This, oh, it's still glass. It's still glass. And this one's actually bigger than it was before as well. So I really hope I don't drop this one. But yeah, I find this to be really good. I don't necessarily like primers that much. Especially not in the winter months. I just find that they have a tendency to kind of clog your pores. I know that primers have come such a long way, but I still find that they do clog the pores. So I prefer to just use something like this, which is actually made for acneic skin. So basically what it is a pore refining treatment. It's got salicylic acid in it again, so it's going to keep those pores nice and clear. And it does refine the pores as well. So it does seem to shrink them and give like a mattifying effect. So I really love this one. I'll just quickly show you the consistency again. I just love these dropper bottles. It just makes everything feel so clinical. When I had this last year, it is marketed as the same product, but it was a slightly different consistency. It was milk. It was like a emulsion last time. So that one just sinks straight into the skin. It's not oily at all. It's like a sort of between like a gel and a liquid serum. Yeah, it's very nice. It's very refreshing. And I find that just using it around my T-zone, so just down the sides of my nose where I tend to get quite shiny here and here. I just use it in those areas and I find that it's really good and it makes a really nice base for my makeup as well. Moving on to more treatments, I've got the Botanical Lab Hemp and Matcha Tea clarifying mask, and one of my old favourites. Honestly, I've tried so many sheet masks. These are still my favourite. They're super affordable. And to be honest, I just feel like they're really good value for money. I've tried some like really high-end ones. I've tried the Sephora range. And they just have not been as good as these good old Garnier that I pick up in either Superdrug or Savers. And they're like £2. I love them. So I always have a stash of those. Sometimes I keep them in the fridge. I haven't needed to recently because it's only just started getting warm again. But yeah, even if you don't keep them in the fridge, they're really nice and cool. So the one that I've got is the super hydrating and soothing one. It's for dry and sensitive skin, which my skin is neither of those things. But this is just my favourite one for whatever reason. There's another one that comes in a dark blue packet. It's like an overnight one. I really like that one as well. But this is always my go-to. It's got chamomile and hyaluronic acid in it. And I just feel like it's a really soothing treat. Something that I've learned over the years when it comes to people that are trying to deal with pigmentation, or if you've got type 3 to 6 skin, so that's like anywhere from olive to black skin, it's not always, like, more is not always more. And so while it might be tempting to go in with like all the strongest exfoliants and, you know, the strongest vitamin C, all those like highly active ingredients, especially when you've got that extra factor of the sun, and not even just the sunlight but the heat as well, that can just create a little bit more inflammation in the skin than usual. So something that I always try and do is, yes, I make sure I'm using my actives, but I try and balance it by using something that's really calming and soothing to the skin as well. And so I find these are excellent just once a week, and you just put them on. I just feel like a little pampered princess when I do it. And lastly, this mask from Botanical Lab, it's got some cool ingredients in it. So it's got hemp, which has been getting a lot, you know, it's not a new thing. CBD has been getting a lot of press for skincare recently and other things. But apparently it is very good for skin as well. And I will say that this, again, it's a clarifying mask which sometimes can be quite stimulating to the skin. Stimulating is not what I want to do now, but I still want to make sure that my skin's getting a nice deep clean like every week. So I use this once a week. It's got matcha tea in it, which has got antioxidants. It's got a clay base as well, so it's going to detoxify and mattify the skin. But it does all that with that, again, that sort of balancing element of the hemp. So it does sort of like help to keep the skin barrier nice and calm. And yeah, I just find that it's really, really nice. The smell of it is quite hempy. I will say that the smell of it's quite hempy. If you've used the Body Shop hemp range, it's a very, very similar smell. Not my favourite, but it definitely does the trick. As well as having kaolin clay in it, which is really good for giving the skin a nice deep cleanse without being too drying. It's got salicylic and lactic acids in it as well. So you're getting that nice exfoliation with two of like the more gentle acids available. So salicylic is excellent for like blackheads and oilier skin. And then you've got lactic acid, which helps to brighten up the skin. It's also quite moisturising for an acid as well. So it's got some really lovely ingredients in this one. Even though it's got the clay in it, it's not a tight drying mask. It does dry down, but you can still move your face when you got it on. So absolutely lovely. Highly, highly recommend. Okay, so that's all my summer essentials. Thank you so much for checking out the video. And I hope you'll join me on the other page as well, because like fitness is such a big passion of mine, such a huge part of my life, and I just feel like, you know, as much as I share with you guys on this channel, it's like probably it's a tip of the iceberg compared to, you know, the amount of knowledge and the amount of time that I actually spend on my fitness journey. If you are interested in that sort of thing, then feel free to head over. I would absolutely love to see you there. But equally, if you just want to stay on this channel, I'm more than grateful to have you here as well. Now that I've actually figured out what we're doing with the channels, we'll be back to a regular schedule. Thank you for your patience, and until next time, I'll see you next time. Mwah.